Today we are diving deep into the Geekom A7 Max mini PC. It's a compact powerhouse built around AMD's Ryzen 9 7940HS CPU. On paper, this looks like a timeless 4x4-inch machine for productivity, content creation, even light gaming. But after testing it thoroughly, there's a real story behind how this little unit actually performs and where its untapped potential becomes an actual limitation. Right out of the box, the A7 Max carries that familiar mini PC form. It's a sturdy aluminum chassis, compact, 135 by 132 by 46.9mm footprint, and an understated professional design that blends into almost any workspace or setup. It comes with all the needed cables, even the VESA mount adapter, so you can hide it behind your monitor if your monitor allows that. Or you can choose to wall mount it or mount it under the desk. The connectivity is rich for a system this size. At the front side you get 4 USB 3.2 10GB ports and a power button. The lack of a front USB-C port is just beyond me. The 2 Type-A ports and let's say 1 USB-C would have been more than okay for me. On the left side there is an SD card slot. It's very capable, it accepts UHS 2 cards as well, speed is as advertised, so no complaints about the SD card slot. On the right side there is a Kensington lock. And on the rear side there are plenty of ports. Power input, 2 USB 4C ports, both are display capable and power delivery capable, 2 HDMI ports, 2 LAN 2.5 gigabit ports, 1 USB 2.0 and 1 USB 3.0A port. And this is where this story takes a little twist. The internal access isn't user-friendly, screws are hidden under the rubber feet, and there's a secondary shield to remove before you can actually reach the memory or storage in this unit. That design choice alone bumps the difficulty level up for upgrades. Even more surprising, despite the Ryzen 9 platform having extra PCI Express lanes available, Geekom only includes one M.2 2280 slot and ships the unit with a single 16GB DDR5 stick. In 2026, that memory configuration is no longer just a choice, it directly impacts performance, especially in this unit, and especially on the integrated graphics. So I decided to add one more stick of the same RAM just for the sake of the performance. At the core of this unit there is the AMD Ryzen 9 7940HS. It's an 8-core 16-thread CPU, a Zen 4 powerhouse that delivers strong CPU throughput for productivity, coding, video editing even, and multitasking in a compact envelope. The benchmarks show healthy multi-core performance that holds up well against laptops and actually smaller desktops. The graphics duties fall to the Radeon 78M iGPU. It's capable of smooth 1080p AAA gaming in many titles and certainly adequate for multimedia, light gaming and everyday 3D tasks. However, this single-stick memory configuration cuts GPU bandwidth literally in half and somewhere around to 70%. So adding dual-channel setups, adding dual-channel memory, will aid this unit significantly. So this means that frame rates and synthetic benchmark scores are significantly lower than silicon is actually capable of until you add another stick. According to the independent testing, the dual-channel memory nearby doubles GPU benchmark results in some cases, highlighting just how badly the default configuration holds this system back. Up to 86% gains in certain graphics tests when switching to dual-channel DDR5. And my tests will be with dual-channel sticks, so keep that in mind. The included 1TB PCI Gen 4 SSD is fast and responsive with excellent real-world throughput for application loading and file transfers. But lacking a second internal slot means you're actually stuck either cloning that drive or using external storage. Not ideal if you need extra local capacity, but of course you can always put a bigger drive inside. The external USB 4 ports help mitigate this issue, especially for high-speed external drives and docking solutions, but the internal storage ceiling is still a limitation in this class. The Ice Blast 2.0 cooling system with dual copper heat pipes and well-engineered airflow keeps thermals in check under sustained workloads. And it actually remains relatively quiet during regular tasks. Even underload fan noise hovers within acceptable levels for a workstation on your desk. So that said, aggressive cooling isn't always enough to mask the single module memory penalty that this unit has. The iGPU reliance on memory bandwidth means performance gains are more limited by system configuration than by heat itself. But all that aside, in everyday productivity, real-world usage, the A7 Max is actually snappy and responsive. The video editing is smooth, office workloads, they just fly, and web browsing feels responsive. The multimedia playback is up to 8K, it's super solid, and streaming or video conferencing is trouble-free on this unit. Light gaming at 1080p works, but reviewers consistently noted and benchmarked, myself included, the unfulfilled gaming potential when carrying a single memory stick. I know I am emphasizing this, but bear with me. So a simple upgrade to dual channel significantly bridges that gap and unlocks these platforms' true capability and potential. And speaking of, here are some benchmarks that I took both in gaming and productivity tasks. So let's see how it stands in the pros and cons area. So for the pros, it's compact, it has premium metal build with excellent port selection. Honestly, for this tiny unit, it's awesome. The Ryzen 9 here delivers strong CPU performance for productivity and multitasking. The USB 4 plus dual 2.5 gigabit LAN ports and multi-monitor support makes it a great small desktop alternative. You can connect up to 4 displays at once. It's super quiet and thermally efficient chassis. Of course, it has some cons, biggest of them being the single memory stick because it severely limits graphics performance and overall responsiveness. So adding another stick significantly improves the performance without raising thermals at all. The internal access and expandability are a little bit awkward. You need to pry off the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth antennas first. This is a bit more tedious and you need to be careful here. And there is only one storage slot, so this limits you with internal expansion. And there is no Oculink port for external GPUs. The Geekom A7 Max is a beautifully engineered mini PC that almost realizes the promise of Ryzen 9 performance in a tiny footprint. Its biggest sin isn't the raw power, the lack of, it's how that power is bottlenecked by a single memory stick and limited internal expandability. So if you plan to upgrade the memory yourself, this becomes a formidable mini PC that bridges the productivity, media creation and light gaming with ease. So without that upgrade, you're left with a system that looks powerful but under-delivers in areas it should excel otherwise. Hence the untapped gaming potential and mixed impressions among every reviewers, including myself. I am aware that adding another stick of RAM increases the overall price, but it unlocks more than 50% performance boost, so in the end it is justified. And all in all, it's a very nice little machine. Thanks for watching, guys. Sub to the channel. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up. If you didn't, press the thumbs down, but make sure to do it twice. I'll see you in another one.